each other. Sun Warrior's probiotics increase native gut flora, restore the gut-brain connection, aid in digestion, support normal bowel function, and support immune function. Shop Sun Warrior probiotics at sunwarrior.com. That's sunwarrior.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Barker. This is my friend Benny. Before you buy cosmetics, personal care, or household products, you be sure they have not been tested on animals. Everything from floor cleaner to shampoo is poured into animals' eyes and down their throats. They suffer intensely. Some even go blind. The price is never right for products tested on animals. Visit PETA.org for a list of cruelty-free companies.
This is Jill with the One Life Radio Fueling Champions Minute. Did you know magnesium is a cofactor in more than 300 enzyme systems that regulate diverse biochemical reactions in the body, including protein synthesis, muscle and nerve function, blood glucose control, and blood pressure? Magnesium is required for energy production, oxidative phosphorylation, and glycolysis. That's a mouthful. How do you know if you're getting enough? Signs and symptoms of possible magnesium deficiency include restless leg syndrome, agitation, insomnia, muscle stiffness, cramping, and aches. Well, where do you find magnesium? Food sources include raw almonds, leafy greens like cooked spinach and chard, raw cashews, pumpkin seeds, black beans, avocados, and my favorite, dark chocolate. Don't forget those Epsom salt baths, and be smart about supplementation. This has been the One Life Radio Fueling Champions Minute.
Hi, this is Sean Wells, certified sports nutritionist, registered dietitian, and biochemist. One Life Radio and I are so excited about the launch of our Thorne dispensary. Thorne is the most used brand by medical practitioners as a result of its industry-leading quality control. Further, Thorne has a team of doctors, chemists, and dietitians formulating their products to be the gold standard. There are very few products I would personally endorse as a clinician, nutritional biochemist, and the world's greatest formulator, but Thorne is atop my short list. Visit OneLifeRadio.com to shop my hand-selected vitamins and supplements, including FloraPro LP Probiotic, Berberine 500, MethylGuard Plus, and Resveratrol in optimized resveratrol. Be sure to click our banner on OneLifeRadio.com and create an account to receive your exclusive 20% discount along with free shipping today.
Did you know a mother rat will dip her paws into cool water and gently smooth the fur around her infants' faces? The babies put their arms around their mother's neck and pay attention while being bathed. Rats and mice fall in love, risk their lives to save their kids, and giggle when tickled. Evan Walker writes of a mouse who died of shock in a trap. His life was a life fully as real to him as ours is to us. This creature, for all the irritation it may have brought as it scampered through closed closets or up some crevice in a wall, was as precious as you or I. He was not a machine that breaks and fails. He felt. His was consciousness, full and real and fragile and precious. This is Ingrid Newkirk with Peter, reminding us that it's easy to be kind, perhaps by not using glue traps.
Rolling Stones for Dr. Gabriel Cousins. Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to One Life Radio. This is Bernadette with Diamond Gray and the gang here, Daniel Tagg and Dr. Gabriel Cousins, if you're just now joining us. He is the author of 13 internationally acclaimed books, including Spiritual Nutrition and Creating Peace by Being Peace. He is known worldwide as a spiritual teacher and the leading expert in live plant source nutrition. Dr. Cousins functions as a holistic physician, psychiatrist, family therapist, and cutting-edge researcher on healing diabetes naturally. He holds a medical degree from Columbia Medical School, a doctorate in homeopathy, and diplomas in Ayurveda, clinical acupuncture, and holistic medicine. Dr. Cousins is the founder and director of the Tree of Life Foundation. You can find him on his website at drcousens.com, and that's spelled DRCOUSENS.com. So it's, instead of your typical spelling of Cousins, it's COUSENS. So great to have you stay with us, Dr. Cousins. We're talking about the dangers of the 5G network. Right before we went to break. I know that you wrote in your blog about the frequency called the Schumann Resonance. We wanted to talk about that. What is the Schumann Resonance, and what could happen if it is disrupted by 5G radiation?
So to use a metaphor, let's think about the Schumann Resonance is the heartbeat of the earth, okay?
Okay.
And in reality, our hearts and brains are actually tuned to it. So when there's a change in the Schumann resonance, it affects all our physiology, but specifically affects our heart and our brains, okay? And it would disrupt, or it is disrupting, the fundamental harmonic of all life. And where it affects our brains is the alpha state. In the alpha state, we're talking about thinking, creativity, and really intellectual function. That would be, or that is being disrupted, as well as alertness and learning. Now, this field called the Schumann Resonance is evolutionarily tuned to 7.83 hertz. Okay, stuff I've been working with actually for a long time. I've published papers in biophysics and biochemistry, so I had kind of an interest on it. When we fly an airplane, we get a little disconnected from the Schumann resonance. We actually have little machines that can make you balance, okay? So think about the Schumann resonance as a planetary tuning fork to which all life forms on the surface of our planet are tuned. And that when we alter it in any way, it will affect our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies and minds. And that's not just us, it's all animal life. And the result is we would get an electromagnetic chaos within all our biological systems on the earth. So that's kind of a summary. There's a lot of biophysics behind what I just said. But the summary is that. And then just to review it, it would affect our physiology in lots of levels, increasing heart disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes, and really mental states, particularly depression, suicide, and anxiety.
Well,
so
it makes
that's
sense.
That's the overview of what it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it makes sense, because, we do need to slow down. We do. All of us do. And we feel it. That's why, there's so much talk about meditation and the things that you study. They're all very important subjects. And the statistic that you talked about earlier in the show, there's an increase in depression by 33%, or not depression, excuse me, in the last 20 years of suicide, not depression, but of course they're kind of the
suicide. Depression's higher than that.
Yeah.
Suicide.
Wow, it's really astounding. It is, and so how will 5G affect the planet, and what can people do to prevent it from happening?
Okay, so what we're talking about is the total harmonic of the planet gets disrupted, because all life on the planet is attuned to the Schumann resonance, which is in essence, as I say, the heartbeat of the planet. It's a planetary tuning fork to which all life forms are tuned. When you disrupt that, you're going to get major chaos on a lot of levels. Within our body, within our minds, as I say, it's more attuned to the heart and the brain, literally more attuned to the heart and brain. Now, what can we do? Well, while we still have our hearts and our minds working right, we've looked at how we can approach this. Now, I can talk about what I can do, personally. We have a thing called the quantum car, which people can check out at the Tree of Life, which actually personally will protect you from 5G through 7G.
Oh, wow.
But I'm looking at the whole world. I'm not working just for me or you, if you see what I'm saying. So what can we do? And there is a group that has used what we call a UCC law. And let me explain what that is, because it's extremely important, because they use this to defeat the smart meters, which are were and are very detrimental. They use this exact approach, okay? And the UCC law is in all 50 states as well as all countries of the world. That's important to understand. This is a worldwide thing if anybody's listening outside the United States. And it creates what we call an extrajudicial self-executing judgment. What does that mean? You don't have to go through court, which is big because the courts are often a little slanted.
Mm-hmm.
And they have used this as a weapon, and I'm going to say against large corporations and government agencies who are trying to harm us. So that has to do with smart meters, mandatory vaccinations, and now 5G. This is something every person can do, and we have a form that people can do. Actually, there's a group we're working with called InPowerMovement.com, and they are actually the ones that defeated the smart meters.
Oh, wow.
And they're so first we can beat these people. This is really defeatable, and I know the whole world's going this way, but it can be stopped. And this UCC puts a lien, like billions of dollars of lien on these corporations, and they back down.
Really?
That's what happened with smart meters. Okay.
Wow.
So without getting into a lot of detail, they can really go to drcousins.com. They can also go to InPowerMovement.com. They're putting together, and they haven't finished, the documents that show you how to do this UCC approach that empowers you in a very, very big way. So we actually have these things in place. You asked an earlier question, and well, how come this? What's the hurry here?
Yeah, what is the hurry?
I don't have a good feeling about the hurry because there's no scientific reason to hurry. There's no rational reason to hurry from a protecting the living planet.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's pushing it before people can mount a defense against it.
Mm-hmm.
We do know, and this is more bad news in a way, is that they have been using 5G to affect people's mental states.
What?
That's a fact. For 20 years they've been doing that. Now they're bringing it out in a different way. It will allow them to affect our consciousness.
Wow. Well, and this goes very...
And again, this is hardcore research.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
Is already done. I'm not projecting.
Right. Well, and I know we know that it affects the bees, the ants, the flowers. It affects everything. And when you were talking about the Schumann Resonance, you said it was the tuning fork, if you will, for the earth. Is this connected to grounding? When someone does grounding and they walk on the earth barefoot, that they get that incredible energy and they just feel better. Is this connected to the Schumann Resonance as well?
Well, not exactly. That walking barefoot, which I do every day, which is really
I do too.
important, brings back what we call negative ions, because our daily life creates a lot of positive ions, which isn't so good for us. So you go barefoot on the ground, and you're going to recharge yourself because the earth is a reservoir of negative ions.
Well,
so it's a little different. Schumann Resonance is a field that literally goes 50 miles from the surface all the way up to what we call the D range. No accident, they're putting all these satellites in that D range, which is creating to make a pun, a derangement.
What?
So our defense, besides I mentioned people can check. We have these quantum cards that can help, but our big defense is the UCC law, which, again, this group is outlining and making forms. It's taking a while for them to do this.
Right.
Hopefully in the next month or two. And the documents show us literally how to file these forms. So a little bit the race of time is, can we wake up enough? Do we have enough time to get these things launched before they get their satellites launched? So there's a little bit of a rush that way. There's literally many international agencies. I mentioned one with 31,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more than that. So that I gave you one suggestion, okay?
Yes.
And but there is more that we can do.
Well, you're going to have to come back.
We have to recommend regulatory agencies that they form a regulatory agencies made of scientists who aren't aligned with the corporate things. We look closely at the whole 5G, 4G thing, and then ultimately organize locally to get this information out, like what we're doing right now.
Yeah,
Go ahead, you're going to say something.
Well, I can't wait for you. I hope you'll come back on a regular basis. Your dear friend Neil Miller is going to do that as well to try to get everyone educated about this so we can fight back. And as my mom used to say, when you are struggling with just